Tonight on Talk is Cheap, we're taking a look at a Utah ranch with a bad reputation, the Skinwalker Ranch. Who owns it now? Coming up on Talk is Cheap. Hey everyone. Welcome to another great episode of Talk is Cheap. My name is Pete Halbleib. Joining me tonight, to my right is...
Dan Hohlfeld.
Hey Dano, how's it going?
Good. Hey, you made it.
I did. We're jumping in with both feet. For those that have been joining us frequently, you may have realized that I missed a couple episodes, and that was due to poor scheduling on my part.
And it was one of these things... The left hand is not knowing what the right hand is doing because now Dusty's gone over here.
Yeah. And I'll take most of the responsibility for that as well. We're gonna miss Dusty tonight. So Dan, you and I got to kind of step up.
And we got to try to make it interesting with two people.
Yeah. In the spirit of hashtag bald guy sucks, who's gonna be the stupid one tonight?
Boom!
Come on, did it? Where's the rim shot?
Oh, this one?
There it is. All right.
Nice.
Sorry.
I'm still getting used to this damn soundboard yet. I got them all nice and pictured, but it's still a pain in the ass to use.
Oh, yeah.
I love that one.
Goat screams are awesome. Dusty, I love you, brother. I'm just giving you a hard time. I know I'm not alone when I say that we're missing you tonight. So, hey...
We got a phone call.
Yeah. You were talking about, we got so the hotline, right? We've got the K2D4 hotline, 256-510-5234. That number again, 256-510-K2D4. And we've got some people that are using it.
This was it Clive?
I think it was Clive.
Clive McGovern gave us a call. Listen in.
Yeah. Hey, this is Clive McGovern. Been watching you guys for a while. Pretty good. I got some concern about the bald guy. I think he's an alien. Y'all need to check that out. Do some tests on him or something. He's weird.
Well, the next show.
Bye.
See, we knew these kooky ones are going to start to
come. Okay, so Dusty, again, you're not here to defend yourself, but I can't say that I disagree with the caller. He is weird. We know that. Alien-esque, you know.
I'll take the
so maybe we should do a show sometime about on how to test if people are aliens, because I'm not exactly sure. Vampires, you've got mirrors and garlic and stuff. But.
Well, we had, when we were talking about that other episode, when the guy came out and said that this was a vampire, but it's like, where did they get the vampire DNA from? We don't have the alien DNA, so how do we figure this out? Yep, exactly.
Maybe we could put someone on him to follow him around to see if he has any cool technology or goes and visits spacecrafts or something.
Oh, hell
no.
So, again, that call-in number is 256-510-5234. That's 256-510-K2D4. Leave your message. Say hi. If you have a topic suggestion, go ahead and leave that. I'm not going to play the topic suggestion until that episode where we cover that topic, just to make it, more synced, if you will. Keep it to 1 minute or less. Standard rates apply. This is a number from Alabama. And I believe if you call from a cell phone, you're all right. And if you do leave if you do leave a topic suggestion on that number, I'm kind of going to give that priority because you're taking it to the next level to get your topic suggestion out there. So again, that's 256-510-5234. That's 256-510-K2D4.
Oh, that's right. What's D in sign language,
I'm not a sign language kind of guy.
I'm not either. I had it. I was close. Anyway. No, that's cool. Because, folks, if you're taking the time to call in, we're going to take some time to give you some special attention. And we do have a huge list of requests. The episode, the topic tonight, rather, it is
oh, yeah, did you have the guy's name?
No.
You're supposed to do that.
I know. I didn't. But, Dan, being the CEO, and folks that don't that aren't here working with us don't realize that Dan is the backbone. He's the lifeblood. He's the air, the water, the food of the Talk is Cheap channel and the show. Thank you, Dan.
There's a lot of work.
Yeah, for everything you do. And, you know, here's case in point right here. I forgot to remember who requested the show. Dan's got it right here. Bruce Kneebone.
And we have done a few topics by this dude as well. So
really?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, Bruce, if you've been watching the show, which it sounds like you have, you know that when we do get a topic request, or rather when I get a topic request, I don't really stick to the you know,
the
keep
formatting.
And I don't stay between the lines here. So Skinwalker Ranch, I had heard about that many moons ago.
This is interesting because Dusty, when you weren't here, we covered the Stardust Ranch.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see that show.
Yeah.
So I started looking into the Skinwalker Ranch again. And for those of you that don't know, the Skinwalker Ranch has, I think, everything paranormal, conspiracy, you name it, it's happening at this ranch. So let's dive in. Let's talk about it. So Skinwalker Ranch, also known as the Sherman or the Gorman Ranch, built on Indian burial grounds. So that's already got kind of a
little twist.
Yeah, twist to it. Poltergeist-esque, you know, because of the Poltergeist movies. They were built on Indian burial grounds. Never a good thing, folks. Do not build on Indian burial grounds. Bad idea.
Well, is that illegal?
Oh, I'm sure it is now. I think the ranch was established like in 1905, so that was before a lot of these laws and regulations.
Yeah.
Back when we were still, I guess not still, but yeah, back when the European settlers were not doing very nice things to the natives to this country. And so.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah. The views represented by the Talk is Cheap channel do not necessarily represent my views. We're gonna get some hate mail from
Oh
that one,
boy!
Dude. All right, let's hear. Hell no! Let's hear it in the comments, folks. Okay, so I do have the coordinates here. It's very close to Area 51, and we're very familiar to that. I wouldn't say they're next door neighbors, but it's just a hop, skip, and a jump down the road. The Skinwalker Ranch is 480 acres in I'm going to butcher this, Uintah County, Utah. And we have lots and lots of reports of paranormal activity. Claims include wolf creature. Okay, before I get into the claims, are you familiar what the natives refer to as a skinwalker? If I say,
UFO.
It's part of that. A skinwalker has a lot of alien UFO connections, but it's an entity that can assume the shape of any being that it wants, typically animals. So it's a shapeshifter. So a skinwalker is some witch doctor, native spirit being or something that can go and just morph into whatever it wants.
I think I'm thinking of fast walk or something. There was some other term for UFOs that had the word walker in it, I thought. Okay,
well, that's not this. So, so anyway, so I wanted to set the premise that, you know, Skinwalker, we've got shape-shifting capabilities going on here, and it's not necessarily entirely alien. It could be also very spiritual, dimensional, things like that. So back to the claims. We've got a wolf creature, okay? Impervious to bullets, okay? So a wolf creature that cannot be killed through bullets. Crop circles scorched into the ground. Inside their home, groceries mysteriously repacked and reorganized.
Is it alphabetical order?
I don't know. They didn't get into that level of detail, or at least rather, I did not find that level of detail.
I wonder what the little organization scheme they got there.
You know,
that might be kind of welcome to some people.
Yeah, you know, when I read that, I thought of it like, have you seen the movie The Sixth Sense?
Yes.
Bruce Willis and then the little kid.
That was before I gave up on scary movies.
Okay, awesome. Well, you know, there was that scene where he's in the kitchen and mom turns around and then all of a sudden the camera pans back and all the kitchen cupboards are open. That's what I envisioned when I read that. I'm like, oh, something like that's going on, which is not too unheard of when you talk about poltergeists and weird spiritual hauntings and stuff. Heck, even on this, was it on this show that we watched where haunting where some papers flew off the shelf and stuff? Was that on this or was that something else?
I don't recall.
Okay. Anyway, it all blends together, folks. They had cattle go missing, so bulls and cows go missing. At one time, they had experienced what they thought was an RV pulling up into the driveway. They went out, they approached it, and as they got closer, it just went up in the air and took off. They hear voices, cattle mutilations.
And this is all going on today.
Yeah, it has been going on and is allegedly going on today. When we talk about the Skinwalker Ranch today, there's a really unique twist to it. I'm going to wait to get to it. So, they've had orbs out there. They've had trouble sleeping, nightmares, and not only they're not just having nightmares, but they're all having the same nightmare. Crazy, crazy stuff, right? So, I'm going to pick up the story. The ranch was built in 1905. It's got a lot of storied history of people leaving unexpectedly, fences, padlocks, chains, things like that make it look like you're trying to protect yourself from somebody outside. But in 1994, a couple by the name of Terry and Gwen Sherman purchased this property. They wanted to establish a cattle ranch there. So if we can take a moment here, I wanted to show, I mentioned that when people, they moved in, I'd mentioned earlier that they had padlocks and crazy padlocks on the outside, the inside of the doors and stuff. So I found a video on YouTube where they show basically a quick snapshot of this. So go ahead and start the video, Dano.
Look at this, 222. These numbers are popping up left and right on me.
Oh, that's crazy.
And today I looked at the clock. It was 11:11. It's just like boom. And then I always have a need to like look at my watch. And,
and look at the subscribers 212. That's something too, isn't it?
No, not that one. Maybe. I don't think so.
All right.
The impressive array of bolts that covered the doors and windows of the main house.
So take a peek at that. Allegedly a photo of the door, right?
Is that actually the door?
Allegedly. That might be part of the 222 negative views. So what I wanted to show here is that the storyline is they've got...
That seems like a B-roll or a fake one. Okay.
Yeah, with some bullet holes in it a little bit, doesn't it? But the point is that when they moved in, they noticed locks and bolts and stuff in weird places. Typically you're not locking both sides of the doors and stuff like that.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Why would you?
Not at all, right?
It's like the person on the outside wants to keep you in and the person on the inside wants to keep you out.
Depending on what's going on. So I want to talk a little bit about this wolf. I'm going to break down some of these claims here. The first day that Terry and Gwen moved into the place, they allegedly, everything's going to be allegedly, right? Saw a wolf approach them, seemingly unafraid of the people in the presence, came up, grabbed a calf by the leg, and wouldn't let go. They went and they got a rifle. They shot this wolf multiple times with no effect. And eventually the wolf let go of the calf and walked away. No dead wolf. So day one, imagine that you've heard or witnessed this wolf come in and you've tried to shoot it and it didn't kill it and it just walks away.
Bulletproof.
Yeah, bulletproof wolf. That's crazy. They've also noticed crop circles. That's not
uncommon.
Yeah, that's not uncommon. We've all seen the pictures of the crop circle, so that was another one.
Did they say what they looked like? Were they pretty good patterns and stuff?
I didn't see any pictures of, say, crop circles, but a really interesting thing they came out and discovered were, when it was cold out, perfect concentric circles and depressions in the ice, which is really cool, and there's some video of that. So here's a great picture of what he had discovered out there. Imagine walking out, you have this 480-acre ranch, and weird stuff's happening. You walk outside and you don't notice this.
Thin ice.
Yeah.
Wow.
That looks like a pretty darn perfect circle to me.
Unless someone went out there with an ice skate, but then they're gonna break through the thin ice. You can see the bottom there. So
yeah, it's not that deep, and to make something that perfect is impressive.
like, the cuts extend only a 1/4 inch into the ice.
Yeah, and the ice itself was perhaps another 1/4 inch thick. So you got 1/2 inch ice. Half of that is engraved in what looks to be a pretty perfect circle.
That begs the question: what the hell?
Yeah, right.
Because why would you do it?
Imagine if you went out there and that's what you saw.
And there's still ice there on both sides of it, right?
Yeah, it's still icy.
Otherwise, you'd think they'd be cutting something in there to lift it out and then grab their fish or whatever the hell was going on. But
yeah, look, I would be impressed if anybody could draw a 6-foot perfect diameter circle
that's
like
perfect.
that on
That's
on
true.
ice.
That's another. Yeah, absolutely.
Here's an actual photo of him out around the ice circle.
And he's straddling the ground.
Yeah.
Is he just pulling a sample?
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows what he's doing there? He's obviously looking at something. But pretty crazy, huh? I mean, just random. And that alone really wouldn't get me too fired up about anything if I just walked out and said, oh, look at this. But now you've got cows mutilating. Go to 1 minute on this one. And go ahead and hit
Do you know
play.
when I hit here, it said 111? Right away.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
It's crazy.
Yeah, go ahead and start.
He noticed that the first cow's corpse had a hole in the center of its left eyeball, with the second showing an identical insertion. In both cases, Terry found that the hole led to the cow's brain. He also noted that predators were afraid of the corpse, and that there was a chemical smell in the vicinity.
Interesting.
Other cattle just vanished. When investigating this, Terry discovered that a missing cow's tracks had abruptly stopped. And despite a recent snowfall, there was no sign of any following footsteps. This mysterious phenomena would continue over the next few months, with the Shermans repeatedly observing 100 feet circular orange openings appear in the sky. Square lighted structures then exited this apparent portal, with Terry once sighting a large
Okay, go ahead and stop.
What?
So that's just stock footage of something.
Right, yeah.
But go back to that. So what I wanted to show here too is that like the newspapers in the area were running these stories. Something was going on. Portals, things coming out of the portals. It's not unheard of in the stories and the encounters that people have with UFOs and aliens and stuff.
Right, because you're talking about many different things like dimensions.
Yeah, once you throw dimension jumping into the mix, it's
I want to look back at this corpse again. It's almost like I almost wouldn't even consider it
a mutilation per se. Yep.
Yeah, unless this is a different stock photo or something, but
they didn't give credit for it
because typically they'll leave and you'll have these surgical.
Yep.
Or not beyond surgical.
Yeah, right. These very precise cuts and removed things removed. What I thought was interesting about this was the claim that there was a hole in the eye socket that led to the brain. Again, that would raise a huge red flag to me.
Absolutely.
Orbs. They're seeing orbs. So we've talked about portals and things coming out of them, and now here's orbs that they've allegedly spotted. And check this out. The couple had 3 dogs, chased some orbs off into the forest, and hit play. And
the dogs chased them.
Yeah, the dogs chased them.
One time whilst doing this, the lights were chased into the forest by the couple's 3 dogs. They didn't return. The next day, Gwen and Terry went to search for the trio, finding 3 circles scorched into the grass. In the center of each circle was a greasy blob.
Oof.
Yeah.
Now terrified at the prospect of their pet's incineration, the couple immediately decided to sell the ranch.
Stop. Okay. So after, okay, good.
Oh man, yeah, that gets deep when you start talking about your pets disintegrating.
Yep. Okay. So now allegedly, their 3 dogs chased these orbs out. They were found the next day, greasy blobs in the center of scorched earth. Terry and Gwen, here's the twist. Terry and Gwen said, "You know what? Time to sell." Any guesses on who bought the property?
I know who the current owner is.
Robert Bigelow.
Yeah, exactly.
Bigelow Aerospace, who worked very closely with the Pentagon and Luis Elizondo, right? That's the guy's name?
Right.
Yep.
Who works with To the Stars Academy.
Yes, and he works with but
Tom DeLonge under his employment is his CEO.
Yes, thank you. What's interesting is that you've got a person that buys this 480-acre paranormal ranch, secretly works with the CIA, the Pentagon, on alien UFO stuff with Luis Elizondo. Years after he purchased it. This is crazy, man.
And he's got like guards and there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's guards. It's armed guards. It's cameras and stuff like that. I guess what I'm trying to do is put a little credibility to the Skinwalker Ranch. Is the fact that the owner of this ranch, who's owned it now for a long time, has not tried to get rid of it. Lots of claims that they've seen stuff, no evidence, nothing at least has been released publicly. Has worked with the CIA as well on alien UFO stuff. It's with Luis Elizondo, who leaked all of this UFO footage and now is working with a disclosure group.
But I got one of my questions that come to my mind. Is he still like having cows and farming in there and all that stuff?
I didn't find a ton of stuff. A lot of it was documentary, like historic. Like I think it was 2012, 2013, a movie was out that was based loosely on the Skinwalker Ranch. But it's clammed up in the last, 6 to 10 years. I found some YouTube channel, which was a guy named, I think it was Jack, claimed to work on the ranch and released footage and stuff. It didn't pass the sniff test for me, so that's
why you're not presenting it.
Yeah, that's why we're not looking at anything. But it's kind of like a gold miner. I think I may have mentioned this before. All these prospectors that go out that look for gold, the ones talking about being a prospector, about, I've got a claim, I'm looking for gold here, they're not the ones finding it. It's the ones that aren't talking about it. So the fact that we had all this information on the Skinwalker Ranch for years and years and years, and now it's dried up, and Bigelow has established a name for himself in this arena, if you will.
The guy seems like a pretty nice, genuine guy.
I'd love to meet him and talk with him and just to see what makes him tick, and
it's hard to believe if you couldn't get next to him and talk to him that he wouldn't let you on the ranch, but you think people would have did that by now, so maybe he is.
I'm guessing there's fanatics out there that are showing up at the fence line, banging on it and begging and this and that. So I would love to go out there and just take a walk and spend a week out there at night walking around.
I think
stuff.
Joe Rogan went there on one of his episodes.
Oh, really?
But everything he does, of course, it's
and so I do want to thank Robert Bigelow for buying this ranch, as well as working with the CIA and everything he does, because I feel confident that if disclosure is going to happen, it's not going to be by the government. It's going to be by a forced hand by a private entity.
This is the thing. I think we almost had disclosure already. We had disclosure back in December, but it just...
Nobody cares.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
They're not willing to accept it.
They're worried about Trump and the Russians and all that bagahoo.
Yeah. Oh, interesting sidebar. I finally watched the movie The Arrival. We had talked about that a while ago.
That's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
Like, you never see much movies where it talks about aliens being good.
Yeah. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a great movie. And one of the things in there, too, is they talked about even trained military soldiers that were vetted and had all this clearance. When they were actually exposed to real-life aliens and alien encounters, they couldn't handle it psychologically, and they just shut down. They were hauling them
when
off.
I presented my topic, the episode before this, it was Project Serpo, where they went to the planet. There was an exchange program between us and the aliens. They're called Evans, and they had a planet in Serpo and Zeta Reticuli.
Okay.
That would be such a good movie, because I just sit and think about that. Here that you meet on Earth, and then you have the journey, and then you're acclimating to how they live, and then you can throw a twist in there that we saw the bodies in the tanks or whatever. But the whole thing would be good, and I would be interested in that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They don't have to go, oh, the aliens are here to kill us. That's what every alien movie is, and it gets so old.
Well, look at all the movies, you know, the evil black person, the cowboys and Indians, the Wild West ones. It's like anybody that's different than, than us, they're bad.
I never did watch that. What was it, Cowboys and Aliens or something?
Yeah,
like that?
No, I'd like to. I haven't seen that either, though.
That one looks stupid.
I wouldn't mind, having a bowl of popcorn, a couple brews, and watching that, But yeah, it's funny because in many cultures, I am of the white Anglo-European whatever culture, so my exposure has been anybody that isn't white is bad and evil, so it's no different than when we talk about humans on a planet. Anything that's different and off planet, ooh, it's scary, it's different. So yeah, anyway, so that's what I had for you, Dano. I wanted to bring up the Skinwalker Ranch. Bruce, I hope that I did it some justice. It's a crazy place. Love it. I encourage everyone out there, do some Googling, do some research. There's lots and lots of stuff out there. But I thought it was quite peculiar that Bigelow owned it.
That's a big part of it. Yep. That's why I was just curious, like, if he wanted cattle, or if he still had cattle on there for the mutilations and stuff. Did you look at anything on this picture?
That to me looks like CGI.
That was a fake one?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah. No, it maybe not. That's how they'll get you to convince you that it doesn't exist, right?
Because it never does, right?
Yeah. Your reality is your perception. Remember that.
Yep. And let's not talk about that right now.
Yep. Awesome. Dano, thanks for joining me. Dusty.
Absolutely.
Where are you, bud?
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah. He can't defend himself. That's terrible. All right. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a great one. Keep your eyes out. Woo woo.